Hello everyone, welcome to tonight's stream. Hope you've all been well. It's been a minute. Getting ready to ship the products. You don't know, had a Kickstarter a while back. We did pretty successful. Made some dice, sold some dice. It went really well. So I've been making tens of thousands of dice and getting ready to ship them out in like 2 weeks. It's exciting times. But yeah, that was a lot of money. But we're getting ready to wind up, and then we're going to wind down. So then it'll be done, and I can go to bed. But the product is so successful, I'm actually getting Chinese knockoffs being made. It's really quite interesting to see your IP be manufactured by a third-party Chinese manufacturer that you've never heard of, and then selling to a bunch of different storefronts. So been playing whack-a-mole essentially, because you can't go after the Chinese factory. Like, what are you going to do? But you can report stores. I actually just registered my copyright today. It'll take a long time to actually like process, but I registered it. In the meantime, I've just been filling out lengthy forms, and it's been interesting. But it's pretty interesting. I don't really assert power over people all that often, but writing a strongly worded cease and desist letter, it's like, hey, I'm the boss. I get to decide what's happening. It was refreshing, you know. There's some definite neurochemistry going on in asserting your position in a dominance hierarchy. It's it's a serotonin boost. It's very interesting. Yeah, speaking of money, I just bought a new set of speakers. They are Triangle Amtal 40th anniversary. They're wonderful. Got a nice matching amp. It's an Atoll integrated 100. Cost me an arm and a leg, but uh, I just like to sit at home and look at charts and make things. So having your home as comfortable as possible, well, it's a rewarding experience. You know, I got all my plants in my plant room. Um, I've got too many plants at this stage. They're overgrowing me, but I'll just move into a bigger place. I want to get a loft. It's really exciting. Um, just large floor-to-ceiling windows. You know, the 2 floors with a stair room to a separate bedroom, preferably brick walls. It's a hard thing to find. At least, no, it's actually just a hard thing to find. There's so many like cardboard cut and paste housing complexes that go up, and even those get filled up. So anyway, let's talk about crypto. Bitcoin has done nothing, just as we predicted. Incredible compression, right? Because what we care about is this here. This nice wave PM cross. When that occurred, we threw our hands up. I remember that Ron Paul meme, it's happening. Yeah, we did that. And we had this nice impulse. Recommended shorting here. As soon as you broke below the CLCP, which marked that this leg of compression was over. So this expansion was very interesting. And I'd like to show you something. Go to the 4-hour chart. Zoom in. What we're looking at is when that condition ended. So we said this would continue to trend downwards, provided it was below this pivot, right, our longest overexpanded period. And the moment we crossed inside, we said it's over. The trend is over. Now we are going to do nothing but compress, right? We were very willing to immediately flip our position, right? We said we're short here, right, on this impulse. And we closed it out here where the compression began. Right, that was our closing condition. As long as we were below the pivot, we would stay in the trade. As soon as we exited the condition, we exited the trade. And now we have been compressing as defined by our CLCP, which is just basic range trading. And usually I would say we would continue to do that until our longest overexpanded period is evaporated, which marks itself here on the 3D wave PM. Right, we zoom in, take a look at this red. As soon as it turns green, trend can begin again if it so chooses. We would define that as leaving the CLCP to the downside or to the upside. So we're just waiting for something to happen. I'm being serious. That's all we're doing, waiting for something to happen. Daily chart. All right, this newest impulse is fully compressed. The volatility overhead from the prior downward move. Yeah, it's not going to be interesting, provided we don't suddenly break below or above, in which case we get to go Ron Paul meme all over again and shake our hands and say it's happening. The good thing about Bitcoin doing nothing is it means altcoins can move quite successfully. All right, let's take a look at selection questions. Let us take a look at DX1. I don't know what this is. Oh, you mean the dollar index? I'm sorry. So dollar index. I don't know much about it. I'm willing to say that. I don't know how to trade it. I believe Kat once said it's derivative information, and therefore it doesn't play well with the indicators. And I kind of just took his word for it and never looked at it. Right. This doesn't affect me all that much. Yeah, and even if I was to like consult the indicators, they aren't saying much, right? Condition would be evaporated, impulse with converse expansion. Yeah, it's not a pretty chart. Ah, if we zoom out to the daily though, that's a, oh fuck, okay. This is a different story. This is playing very nicely with the indicators. Okay. Shoot. All right, this actually looks pretty good. If you have reasons to be long, which will be entirely your due diligence, because I know not that much with the current economic situation. I just haven't been keeping up. I've been busy making tens of thousands of dice. Essentially, if you have a good reason to believe that this is going to go up, you should do so as the indicators match that perspective. All right, we get the pivot here. We just crossed inside as we saw with Bitcoin. It implies lateral upward movement, or sideways movement, which just so happens to have a range that is more upside than downside. Oh, I ate all my blueberries. Fuck. All right. Next up, let's take a look at link or uranium. URNM. Okay. Is this all the same thing? I don't know. I don't know much about this. URNM. Yeah, I don't know, man. Let's take a look at ocean. Cool. A crypto chart that we can look at. Zealot, ask any questions you might have. Happy to answer any questions because you ask for the best charts. Take a look at PIR next. Daily chart, we are bumming up against the top edge of the 3.2 of the CLCP. Outside the compressionary condition, but we're tagging against that last line of resistance. Okay, 4-hour chart's going to be much cleaner. All right. If we look at this, we see very nice, clean, well-respected compression range. Burst out to the upside. As soon as we close back inside, we see our mean reversion. And now we're in a new tiny little upward expansion, which does have some volatility overhead as defined by this here, right? So this is not fully compressed. Might see some more expansion. Take a look at FMBMB after PYR. Okay. This is a pretty common looking chart, right? You have the initial coin offering, or listing for that matter, and then the volume dies. Actually, volume's been going up. That is really peculiar. You don't see that often. We have this one clean mean reversion. See the mean reversion, converse impulse, secondary mean reversion. Those are pretty fun, actually. If you have an upward pulse strong enough to generate its own mass inside of an active mean reversion condition, it can lead to some cooler stuff on the lower time frames. Yeah, let's take a look at the 1 hour. Yeah, it's so cool. Look at the mean reversion on the higher time frame, which completes. And then there's a converse expansion to secondary mean reversion. Nice. I'm not seeing any active plays, though. Next up, let's take a look at F. Daily chart's fully compressed. That's very appealing. Right? We have a lot of sideways movement for a long time. We have this massive daily mean reversion condition, which has completed. You know what? I'd like to show you guys something. We're going to go to the 16-hour chart. Not quite. We need 2-day? Last resolution? Yeah. So if you take a look here at the 180 period. That's the wrong indicator. $180. Yeah, well, respect we cross inside. We have a very high swing high, right? But that's one of our entry conditions, right? Because if we type in 18, CCI roll down into your active mean reversion from a 1/10 period Very strong signal, right? Because condition activates here, and you can technically enter here for your mean reversion of this line. But what happens? Price from this point, this short is bad. You lose, right? The short is correct, but you lose because your entry is bad. The position is correct. The entry puts you at a loss. So that's why I recommend waiting for the CCI roll downs. Right? Because we have 3 visible, 4. I'm sorry. It's here, not here. This is the activation where you have several consecutive candle closes inside. All right, so after this point, we have 2 CCI entries, 1 here, 1 here. But let's say that you did make that same mistake and you did consider this active mean reversion. All right, what happens? You would have entered here, you would have stopped out, you would have entered here, maybe you take profit, maybe you didn't, who knows? Well, that is a 50-50. You enter here, you definitely stop out, but you enter here. Like, let's say you lose 5% here. This one, we say nothing happens because, sure, maybe you moved up, maybe you had a trailing stop. It's 20%, it's quite nice. You enter here, goes down 5%, but you stop out 5%, so minus 10. But what happens when it finally hits, right? The mean reversion ends up being 20%, so net profit 10%. All right, so it's worth taking every CCI roll if you actually have a solid macro level or even micro mean reversion condition. It works out. Okay, let's take a look at BNB. Oh, I didn't actually make prediction. Right, complete compression on the daily chart. So very high potential energy. What we're looking for now is an impulse in the lower time frame, and it looks like we actually have it. Ooh, this is good. This is really good. Daily, completely compressed. 4 hour, right along that longest overextended period. What's the play? If you want to bet on trend continuation on the macro level, you could. So if you want to do a Hail Mary and say you stop out, let's be aggressive, 7.4, right? From current price, 0.8%. That's your stop loss. We look at the daily chart, and if we have complete compression, which we do, it implies if there were to be a breakout, it would start a new trend. Right? What happens here? This is the last time it happened. What happens at that line? New breakout, new trend. Let's put a vertical line there. Right? So at this vertical line on the daily chart, we had complete compression, and what happens? We have our initial expansion in complete compression, at which time we assume new trend is beginning, right before it happens. Because you have a new expansion and complete compression, so long as it stays outside your CLCP, that trend will sustain. All right, let's say you got a late entry here. and then you exit the position on entry into the mean inversion condition, so 15%. I want to compare the volume of these two instances, though. Yeah. So this impulse here is obviously far greater than this impulse here. So, about this. If you would like to wait for your entry, you can do so by waiting for this 14 period to cross up above the 0.7 value. And there's the other thing, or just right on the edge of this CLCP here, which would act as resistance. But so long as we're above this line, you can be in a position. Right? I mean, go for it. You have very little risk. Like, you risk 0.8%. And your upside is macro level trend continuation. How reliable is the volume on the F chart? Binance is the highest volume exchange, if I remember correctly. That might be wrong. Should be pretty consistent across most exchanges for a coin of this volume. Market cap, I mean. Oh, I'm sorry, here. Wait. I've confused myself. Where was the expansion? Am I in the same shit? Ah, it's because I'm on the 4 hour. That's why I couldn't see it. Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna put lines here so I don't miss it. Impulse starts there. Our chart. You know what? You have so little risk in this position. There's really no reason you should not try it. Yeah, shoot for the moon. As soon as this mean inversion condition starts, you can exit the position. Zealot says, what are your favorite charts lately? Do you mean charts or chats? Let's take a look at BNB. Oh man, look how clean this mean inversion is. This is actually a converse expansion position. It's very interesting. Charts, yeah. I should have guessed. What we're actually looking at here, just remember to go past the volatility overhead. 80. So it should be 4 times that on the 1 hour chart. Yeah, See, that lines up quite cleanly now. Where mean reversion starts here. And what do we see? Lateral mean reversion. Where the condition begins here, what happens? We go to the mean. So this is why you wait for CCI rolls. It's very important. But one thing you could do is if you notice that this here is crossing above the 0.7 value, right? You can actually go to an even lower time frame. Look at the expansion for that line. And then enter on the pending mean reversion, which in this case is up to 220. Right, because if you have a converse expansion to your mean reversion condition, you can enter upon the mean reversion in confluence with the original condition. All right, it's 220. Yeah, so you would enter here, and then your target would be that 4-hour mean. So where are we now? Completed mean reversion, bullish impulse, which has its own expansion. Very nice. Four-hour chart. This is measuring as a new expansion as well. But yeah, another play, BNB and F. And the 1-hour chart, you can scoop that off the locks. Cool stuff. Yeah, so BNB and F, those are the two plays I would make because they're so low risk and you have so much upside. Waiting for CCI roll is a bearable and acceptable thing. Yeah, so you miss out on a lot of positions, but your profit ratio is going to be much higher. The other one you can do is CLCP tag. That's totally acceptable for entry on position. Let's just find one. Cool. Oh, it's expired. Give me 4-hour. Why not? Give me a chart. Any chart. Wow, noisy. Yeah, so nice active condition. Starts here. CLCP tag to the upside, so you would enter. Obviously, that's a losing position, but it's what you do. Wow, that's ugly. Mean reversion condition starts here. You tag on the low end CLCP for mean reversion. Okay, we're looking at one more chart for the evening. ENS. I'll check out silver. I know the price of platinum. I had to order 12 ounces of platinum. Swear to God. Not 12 ounces. Fuck. I have to do math. How much did I order? It was 13 grams times 7. It's 91 grams, so 3 ounces of platinum. No, I am thinking pounds and fuck. 13 grams times 7, 91, divided by 28. Yeah, 3.25. Yeah, I'm making a set of platinum dice. I'll be starting on that in a few weeks. Their retail is $21,000. And it's already sold. Times are good. Okay, so ENS here has an active bullish mean reversion. If you want to try to enter on the 6448, go ahead. Daily chart. Don't have enough info. This condition is almost expired though. It would have to snap back really quickly for you to try a scalp. Take it on the low end of the CLCP or CCI rollup, and then you would just try to close it out on a few percent. 1 to 2 profit ratio. Let's check out silver. Silver. That's not correct. USD. Losing momentum, but you don't have any binding. Oh, 220. Very interesting. That's why we're seeing resistance. All right, so you have this mean reversion condition, which is not yet complete. Notice where you're finding resistance. Top edge of it. It'll complete pretty quickly, but we still have that resistance. You can find an entry on a low time frame. You might be able to get a scalp. If we were to tag the top edge of the longest overextended period on the 1 hour chart, which would be in confluence with the higher time frame, longest overextended period, that would be an entry. Probably wouldn't hold it for too long. Unless you want to try and bet on daily mean reversion down to $21. Again, low risk. Alrighty, any final questions, folks? I'll leave this running for another minute. Cool, that looks like it's going to be it, folks. I'm going to cook some salmon. I'm hungry. It's a pleasure. I will talk to you all later.